Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna be doing another story time video, and talking about this is gonna be about my first arrest. I had a pretty bad altercation with the police as a result of my psychosis and paranoia. Ended up getting tased multiple times. It was just a pretty bad experience. I've talked about this before on my YouTube channel earlier, but I figured I would make another one so that way it's recent, and then also I feel like I'm in a pretty good storytelling mood, or so hopefully I can tell the story pretty decently. If you like this story, please like the video. Please comment what you guys think, if you've been through anything similar or seen anything similar. And also, consider subscribing to the channel, just because it helps me tremendously in my growth. I do want to do more educational videos about addiction, and mental health and recovery, or at least share my experiences, and hopefully that way people don't make the same mistakes I did. This experience is Christmas Day. This is 8 days after I was essentially fired from my job. And this is the same job where I talked about mania and psychosis and paranoia that happened in August and September as a result. And this is, I don't think I mentioned, this is all a result of me abusing a ton of nitrous oxide, especially for a very long time, or just a very up to daily for a few weeks, so even though I wasn't actively under the influence in any of these stories, I still had mental health effects, the mania and psychosis and the paranoia, even up to a few days, or sometimes a week or two after my last use, depending on how much I was using it and for how long. So this takes place the same year, at the same job. Well, I guess this is context. I'm going to talk about the story, but same job where I had the crazy behavior I talked about in one of my previous videos. And so because this had been an ongoing issue, they finally were like, okay, yeah, I got called in the office, and they're like, yeah, dude, you're just acting super crazy. We can't have you like this. I was put on a leave of absence, but that was the last time that I set foot in that facility. I had my last shift was a few days before that. But yeah, that was the last day I had set foot. So I'm already in a really bad headspace because, I just lost my job. It's such a substantial thing. I had a pretty good job. I was making good money. And to lose it was just a huge, it had a huge impact on me. And instead of, people that have struggled with addiction can relate, but, instead of being oh, yeah, maybe, after all this had happened, maybe I should take a good look at myself and my current life, my situation, and, try to get sober, or stop using so much nitrous. But of course, the very opposite happened. I just gone into full blown pretty heavy daily use. Not as much as my biggest binge, which resulted in nerve damage. But this, I'd say, like, I was still probably doing like 300 to 600 cartridges, 8-gram cartridges a day, daily. Of course, my psychosis had gotten worse by the time Christmas Day rolls around. And I guess one other thing for context is, so what I would typically do with like a lot of the nitrous I abused, I would, like go, let's just say like earlier in the day, like maybe morning time or early afternoon, to the store and buy, 200 to 400 cartridges, because it's like, for me, I was like, well, I don't want to do too much, like I'm going to try to moderate, which never works, never worked. And so I would go home, buy that, go home, do it, and then once I gone through all of it, I've talked about this in some of the previous videos, and so like people that have abused nitrous and like used a good amount of it can probably relate. But it always, like during like the experience, like the binge of doing it, back to back, I would just go through cartridges one after another without like any rest, to like gradually increase the effects and like the duration. It's like throughout it, especially towards the end, like it's like you're on the verge of like an epiphany. Like you have this like secret knowledge, or like this divine knowledge, or like, just like all this, just this great thing. But it's like always like, as you're coming down, like it always like on the cusp, like you're just about there to like have that great epiphany, and you never do. Yeah, and also like, for me, like it was kind of a spiritual thing too. I mean, if you think about it, like I would spend in, several hours with very little oxygen intake. So, like I wouldn't say like I was definitely like on the line between life and death, but, coming, probably closer to that than, you normally should. So I think that like played into it. So I say that because I would get to the end and I'd be like, oh man, I need to get more, like, because like maybe, this time, and then so I would go and like buy another like 300 to 500, and bring it back home, and then do it again. And then at this time I wasn't going to the store like several times, but I'd say like maybe like a few times per day, just because like I just was like trying to chase this like secret knowledge, this divine knowledge. Definitely a lot of grandiosity because of the nitrous oxide abuse. So I thought like I was just like this special person, like like on the quest to like get secret shit knowledge. It's so silly now that I go back and think about it, but at the same time, like I still wonder, like I don't know, I always still have like reservations, or it's just like what is reality. I'm sure there's a lot more that goes on that we can't perceive, but that's a different conversation for a different video. So I think I was on my third trip, so I had gotten more, and then finished it, and I went to the store to go get more. And this is when, shortly after I left my apartment, this is when I had the encounter with the police. I was on my way to the store, and I was coming up to an intersection, it's like a freeway overpass. Coming up to the intersection, so like, and then, but like streets, well, actually just this way, and then the overpass was this way. And coming up to the intersection, and it like was turning yellow, and like I really like I really should have stopped. But one, I was kind of just like in a rush to get more, and then two, Two, like, I guess a few things. Two, my senses, my perception was obviously skewed and not the best, so like I thought I had more time. But then also thirdly, like, I didn't want to be stopped because like I was like paranoid that like I was gonna get kidnapped. Again, super silly, but like at the time, like just that paranoia is like so real, it's so strong. And so I thought that if I had, stopped at the intersection, like maybe like some, sort of agents or like entities would, like pull me out of the car and kidnap me because, like I said, that secret knowledge, that grandiosity. So ended up blowing through the intersection, and it was like pretty much a late yellow turning red, and so because of that, the turn lanes on both sides of the freeway were going, and so that started happening as I like sped through the intersection, and fucking my luck, actually I do have good luck, but there was a cop car like turning left this way and a cop car turning left this way, and like they were like the first ones. And so speed through the intersection, and since they're like already kind of in the middle, almost hit both of them. I wouldn't say like almost, but like it was pretty close. Like it was, not very safe. Of course, I'm very fortunate. I'm very grateful that no one was injured or substantially hurt other than myself. That could have ended much differently and, led to serious injury or death for other people. And I'm so thankful that that didn't happen. So speeding through it, that happens. And again, like normal logical brain would be like, let's pull to the side of the road because, and like they were on it like that, of course, like sirens and just like boom, like, it's like pull over to the side of the road and then, wait for them to come and be like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing? You almost hit us. But of course, that paranoia was there, especially now heightened. So it's like I have this adrenaline from kind of getting close to almost hitting a few vehicles, especially cop cars. And so I have this adrenaline and this paranoia, and so I didn't stop at all. If anything, I just continued to speed. I was just like trying to speed and then go down to the smoke shop where I was buying the nitrous from. For some reason, I thought that I would be like safe if like I made it into the smoke shop and like got in the doors. I have no fucking clue why, but of course. That delusional thought process was definitely prevalent. And the paranoia, like I didn't want to stop until I made it to the safety of the smoke shop. So I speed down there, and then I kind of just like quickly like pull into the parking lot and like jump out of my car. Not like jump out, but you know what I mean, like just in a rush to get into the store. And they had already caught up to me, or pretty much at that point. So they pull up and they're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, trying to stop me and like be like, yo, what's going on? And of course they probably have adrenaline pumping too, and like they're probably pissed the fuck off, dude. I mean, I would be too, if like someone almost hit me. But yeah, they were really pissed off. And this smoke shop too was like a block away from one of the local police stations. So it's like it was not very long before like reinforcement showed up. But anyway, so I jump out, like I rush in the store. They're trying to talk to me, and then I get into the store and I'm kind of like go by the register, and they come in and like they try to talk to me, and I wasn't talking to them because I was just like so like just adrenaline, paranoia, like it was kind of like partially like I just like froze and I didn't know what to say, but also like I did kind of have like a thought of like if I speak like one of the delusions I would have often was like saying something and it not being like true, like like I was in a different route. It's really hard to explain, but either way, like just concerned that if I had said something, and I was like caught in that lie, like they would like figure me out, or like even like take my soul. Again, just completely non-logical. And so, yeah, I wasn't saying anything. And this could have been handled better by the police too. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying like I don't blame them, but I guess this is a good example of why I feel like police should have more training in de-escalation. I feel like a lot of times they show up and escalate the situation. So and you'll see why I say that in just a second. So I might just like. And I brought my whipped cream dispenser with me. I don't know why. Like I think of like I didn't want to leave it at home because that might have like gone missing because like other, like I said, agents and entities like wanting me to like not continue because of like these special epiphanies. So I brought it with me. So I'm like clutching it. Like it's in my sweatshirt. I didn't put on a shirt. What I would typically do is just like put on a sweatshirt because it's just easy. I zip it up. So I'm shirtless, but I have the sweatshirt and I have the dispenser in there, and they really didn't spend much time trying to talk to me. They did like very briefly, but then one comes up to me and gives me like a hard kick to the abdomen, like a just like I assume the point was to like quickly incapacitate me, so that way like knock the wind and then I fall over and then they can handcuff me. But you guys can tell, like I'm a bigger dude and I have all this adrenaline, and of course like I'm like still kind of like numb from the nitros, so that like that does jack shit. Like that doesn't faze me in the slightest. And then so like they're trying to like after kicking me super hard, trying to like grapple me to the ground, and they were having a hard time with that. So the other officer, so I can't help but like laugh now. It's just like just how ridiculous this whole situation was, and like again I guess I can laugh too because like other than myself, like no one was really hurt. So one's grappling me, and then the other one pulls out a taser, and like I don't know how many times, at least like 3 or 4 times, had shot tasers into me. Like it's the ones that shoot the prongs, because I had multiple prong marks, and like the worst one was on my my ass. There was like black. It singed my skin. Like he tased me until the skin was like singed. And then I don't know why they tased me several times, but yeah, I had markings on several parts of my body. Probably because it wasn't taking effect, so and I don't know at this point, but it's possible that there might have been a few officers in there at that point, and like all of them trying to tase me, like, or a couple of them. That's kind of the only thing I can really think of. But yeah, maybe it was just one, and like he tried like multiple times and it wasn't effective. What's funny though is the cop that was like trying to grapple me, he yells to his partner, he's like, "Stop tasing," because what was happening was the electricity like from the taser going into me was going into him. So he had to tell the other guy to stop tasing because he was getting tased. And again, like it had like no effect on me. Like it really didn't have any. I felt it, but it was like barely, like, it's like a tickle. But shortly after that, other cops showed up, and then they finally like kind of just like dogpile me. Like there's just multiple like on me. And at that point, finally they subdue me and then handcuff me. And then they, EMS shows up, paramedics show up, and then they get me on the gurney and they're trying to talk to me. And finally, I start talking to them. just because like I realized like, okay, hey, like, I'm already fucked, so it's like I might as well try and explain my situation. And I remember too the paramedics pulled the prongs out of me too. Yeah, so they take me down to the local ER just to get checked out, and make sure, like, I guess I was okay. Like, I guess, probably because of the physical altercation and them tasing me, they probably were just covering their ass. What sucks is, at the time, I guess I didn't feel it, of course, but because they had like dogpiled me, they ended up breaking 4 of my ribs, and it wasn't until like a week later when I tried to, like, I was just like trying to breathe deeply, and it was hurting really bad. And then eventually got an X-ray. They didn't X-ray in the emergency department. They had no reason to think I had broken ribs. Yeah, so I was in the ER for like a few hours. Like, I apologized profusely to the cop. I'm just like, sorry that, you're spending Christmas Day here, like, guarding my dumb ass. And of course he's like, well, I was on duty anyways, but I get medically cleared from the ER, and then they take me down to like the police station to like book me, but they didn't, fortunately, thank God, they didn't actually take me into jail custody right away. Instead, they let me go that night, and were like, they gave me a court date like the day after, so the 26th, to go and get like arraigned and like get my charges assigned, or whatever you want to call it. And it fucking sucks too. It was like at this point pretty late at night, and they just released me, and I don't have my car because my car eventually got towed, which fucking sucks. I had to pay for that. But I didn't have my car, and I'm like, can you guys like give me a ride home? And they're like, no. It's just like, I guess they don't owe me anything, but it's just like, that fucking sucks. And then also the guy that was checking me in at the police station, like, was laughing his ass off about me getting tased. Like, he wasn't like laughing like at me, but he was just laughing at like the situation. He's like, dude, you got tased like a bunch? I'm like, yeah, it's not really funny. Like, I don't know why you're fucking laughing, but again, he wasn't like doing it in a mean way. He was just more laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. But yeah, so they released me, and then I had to get an Uber home, and then, like I said, the day after, went and got to court. I ended up getting reckless driving, resisting arrest, and malicious mischief 3, because what happened was, when I was holding on my computer screen, when I was holding the dispenser and like they were like trying to grapple me, they claimed that I was trying to break like the glass case in the store with it, but I wasn't. What happened was they slammed me into the case, but I was like kind of still holding the dispenser, so it looked like I was trying to break it. And at that point, like, I'm screwed. It's not like I can try and like fight it. I mean, I guess I could have went to court, but I didn't. I did get into mental health court and try to complete that so I can get those charges dismissed. But unfortunately, because of my struggles with addiction, I couldn't stop drinking, and got kicked out of mental health court, and then ended up doing the jail time. But that's another story. So yeah, I got those 3 charges, and again, it's like a logical, rational thought would be like, okay, now, like, I just lost my job a week ago, this happened, like, I should really stop. But no, I didn't. The use just continued onward, and that's, what eventually led to, the several month long of daily heavy use, and then, because of such heavy use for so long, the nerve damage and not being able to walk. Things just went downhill for like the month of December onward. went downhill quite a bit. And I'm not saying that for sympathy, like, and again, you know, like, laughing at the situation now, it's like, you know, I have to, like, there's no, like, I don't feel embarrassed about it at all either. Like, I really don't. Having the criminal charges suck. It's really fucked me over from getting employment since then. You know, like, I would have a successful interview, and then they would do the background check, see that, and then resend their job offer. But I'm not to say, like, I don't deserve those. Like, I think that's totally warranted. You know, given the circumstance of how that all happened. Again, you know, I'm just very, very glad that no one else got hurt. You know, it would be a totally different story if, like, someone had gotten seriously hurt or especially killed. That wouldn't be a laughing matter. But no one other than myself was hurt, and you know, it's like it still cracks me up of the cop holding me, like, telling his partner to stop tasing just because. I don't know, that cracks me up. I don't know what you guys think, like, if that's just, like, a horrible thing, but I don't know, it just makes me funny that I was just so unfazed by the taser, like, the electricity, like, just went through my body into his. But I digress. So yeah, that's that story. That's a fucking great way to spend Christmas. Terrible, man, super terrible. Yeah, dark times. But yeah, hopefully you guys, liked the story or thought it was interesting. You know, please comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you liked it. Maybe I have other stupid stories, like, just with addiction, like, to talk about. So yeah, if you like it, let me know. Like, maybe I'll share some more stories with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe again. I don't mean to ask constantly, but it does help. So thank you guys for watching, and then I will see all of y'all sooner or later. I don't know when.